Today we're going to be talking all about this case right here. This is the Snakebite case, and we're going to be talking about why I love it right now so much. Not necessarily as a case, like something to open up or whatever, because it's really not all that great. I don't think it's probably as bad as people are acting like or people think, but it's definitely not that great. But as an investment, I really think that right now this could be one of the better investments you could possibly make in all of CS2, and this is something that I am going to be buying today. I have not been adding super aggressively to my portfolio recently. I've kind of been adding slowly over time, but I do think that overall right now in the CS markets right now is an amazing time to buy the dip. I want to start buying the dip more aggressively and more actively, and I'm going to be starting today with this item right here in this video today. I'm going to be telling you all of the reasons that I'm thinking and all the reasons why. Maybe I'm right, maybe I'm wrong, maybe I'm stupid, maybe I'm smart. I don't know. We'll see. Time will tell, but this is what we're going to be talking about today. Of course, first let me plug my cash trading business. If you are looking to sell any of your CS2 items, maybe even your entire inventory, maybe a ton of items in bulk, whatever, we can talk. Hit me up over on Twitter. It's going to be the first link in the description below. Also, my trade link is going to be down there as well. Maybe you guys want to make a trade for some of my items instead. Maybe that'd be easier, whatever. But obviously, it can be scary. Sometimes it can be hard. It can be difficult trying to turn your CS2 items into cash or whatever different payment method you're looking for. Crypto, Zelle, Cash App, PayPal, whatever. So we can probably get a deal done. I'm buying all kinds of different items for between 85 and 90% buff. And like I said, you can get your money quickly, efficiently, safely, all that important stuff, and you'll be helping support me, my channel, and my content as well. With that being said, let's get right into this. So right now, the Snakebite case is something that I am going to be buying. I think today I'm going to be buying one entire storage unit. Now, hey, that's not that much. It's a little bit more than $100, but it's going to be a lot of cases. And yeah, one thing about the Snakebite cases is you just have to buy so many of them since they are so cheap. But loading up a couple of storage units full of these bad boys is something that I think is going to pay off great dividends over the next year, really, but depending on where the price goes, I would consider even holding them for longer, 2 years, 5 years, whatever. But this is an item where if this did like triple in price from here, I probably would look to consider to start selling off and stuff like that and want to be taking some profits, because again, I don't think the Snakebite is that amazing of a case. I just think there's a lot of factors going on right now that makes right now specifically an amazing time and amazing opportunity to maybe start loading up on some Snakebite cases, and I might be doing that in a big way here soon, but I got to start small, of course. So this is one of the bigger reasons why, when we look at this graph from CS stocks, or CSGO stocks, in the past month, the last 30 days, pretty much over the course of January, from the start of 2024 until today, February 1st of 2024, the Snakebite case is down 43%. Now, that is insane. Now, what has changed in the last month? What would have caused this thing to go down 43%? Nothing. I mean, really nothing. The player base in January, I think, went down like 1%. It's not like that. We have had case openings and case unboxings kind of fall off a cliff. So, yeah, openings aren't happening as fast. And obviously, the supply is still dropping very, very, very rapidly and very actively. But that has been the case for a while now. It's not like in January, it was our first month of unboxings kind of going down. But I do still think that, of course, when and if the player base starts to grow or expand again in CS2 at some point in 2024, we don't know if that's going to happen, but as an investor, I'm making that prediction, and by putting my money in the CS2 markets, I'm saying, hey, I think that's going to happen, and I believe that's going to happen. If I didn't think the game was going to grow in 2024, then it would be foolish of me to be investing any amounts of money into the CS2 market. So I do think that if and when players come back at some point in 2024, whether it's quarter 2, quarter 3, quarter 4, whatever, that unboxings are going to increase again, and that these 12-cent price points that we're looking at right now. Again, if you go to something like Buff163, hey, I have Buff163 access now. Look at me go. You can buy Snakebite cases for as cheap as 12 cents. I mean, what are we doing here, and what are we waiting for? Gone are the days of 3-cent cases, and cases have been just an absolutely insane investment over the past year. I do want to pull up exactly what something like the Snakebite case has done over the past year. This thing was 15 cents. This is based off CSGO stock, so this is based off Steam prices a year ago. We're pretty much at prices that we were exactly a year ago, February 1st of 2023. And again, that doesn't necessarily make sense, because when you look at what has happened since February 1st of 2023, went from CSGO to CS2. We have an entirely new game. Now, hey, you could argue CS2 is worse or shitty or whatever, but I would argue that CS2, whatever state it's in right now, investing is forward-looking and forward-thinking. It's not about the right now, and I would say that, hey, CS2 is a bigger deal than CSGO. Also, if you look at the player base from a year ago till today, the player base has grown. There are more active daily players right now than a year ago. So just that fact alone, I would say, hey, it doesn't make sense that an item like this should be the exact same, and really the market in general is pretty close to being flat in the past year, and it really shouldn't be again because the player base has increased, let alone the fact that we have CS2 is an entirely new game with all these new opportunities to grow in the future, even though Valve has kind of dropped the ball. So I think a lot of items and the market overall is probably underrated right now, and the snakebite case being one of those. Again, like I said, this thing is just so damn cheap. The fact you can pick it up for 12 cents is insane. And I know that there are a lot of people out there, since the fracture case is the oldest case in the active drop pool at this point, that a lot of people are expecting the fracture case to be the next case removed. But I think there is actually a lot of evidence and a lot of possibility to show that the snakebite case could be the next case to be removed. And if it is going to get some kind of short-term boom on top of the fact that I think it's already undervalued and underrated and probably will just naturally increase in price over the next year anyway. So again, if we look at this right now, we will see the active duty cases. I'll make this smaller so you guys can see it. I know there's not really a good way to present this data in a video. It's always going to look a little bit bad and weird. But you can see here that of the active duty cases in the blue here, the snakebite case is the least opened over the past month. And the fracture case is actually in the middle of the 5. The fracture case is the third most open case. Fracture is open right now more than snakebite and recoil. So obviously, Valve can do whatever they want. They can remove whatever case. They don't always have to remove the oldest case available, but they are incentivized to have cases in the active duty pool that people are opening, because again, those are the cases that are being most dropped. These are the cases that people are getting for free. So if people are getting free cases dropped to them that they love to open and are willing to open, that is going to sell Valve a lot of keys, and that is going to be making Valve a lot of money. If people are getting dropped snakebite cases and they're not excited to open them and they're refusing to open them, then hey, that's not really doing all that good for Valve. Yes, Valve might get some money when people sell them on the community markets or stuff like that or whatever, but how much money are they really making when somebody sells a 12-cent item on the community markets or whatever? I don't know. But another big thing here is that Valve has an extra incentive to remove the snakebite case next, because right now, and obviously this has been a fact previously, but right now you can see the 2 least open cases. I actually saw that Master Shiny was talking about this in a recent video. The 2 least open active duty cases are the recoil and the snakebite. Now, what do they have in common? They are both dropping in price very, very rapidly. They're both right around 12, 11, 13 cents, somewhere in that range. They also both have these same golds in them. The recoil case, you can see the gloves here. You can get some cool gloves. You can get Nox. You can get black tie gloves. You can get the gloves aren't even bad in either of these cases. You know, there's the broken fang gloves. Like I said, there's black tie. There's snow leopard. There's moto gloves. I think some of these aren't terrible. There's Nox. Like I said, people seem to really like those right now. The slingshot gloves are cool. But hey, snakebite has the exact same 24 gloves. So not only is the snakebite case the least open case right now in the active duty, they also have the same golds as another case that's in the active duty right now, which is also not getting open very much, which again, like I believe Master Shiny said in his video, if snakebite was to get removed next, that would maybe even incentivize people to open up more recoil cases, since it would be the only case in that active duty with those gloves in it, which in a weird way could be a little bit of a boom to the recoil case, which is also another case that I'm very, very interested in buying right now. But I do think that lends more possibility of the snakebite case being the next removed, because not only could we get a case out that people aren't that excited about opening right now and bring in a new case that people are going to be more excited about opening, which would in turn make Valve more money, it also could make people open up more recoil cases, which again would make Valve more money. They have a ton of incentive to do this. The fracture case is in a good spot, despite how old and how long the fracture case has been in the active duty pool. It is still having some pretty nice opening numbers. People are still enjoying this case. This case is still doing well. This case is still fun and people still like it. I don't think Valve is necessarily going to be in a hurry to remove it. But again, what I have said before and what I will say again about the snakebite case is, even if Valve does decide to remove the fracture case next, that is okay. That is not even bad for the snakebite, because again, yes, that would be great for the fracture case if it gets removed, and yes, some people expecting the snakebite case to be the next removed would be a little bit disappointed, but that would then bring the snakebite case to the forefront of being the next case to be removed, because then at that point, the snakebite case would be the least opened and the oldest and already have some duplicate golds. Like, there would literally be no reason for the snakebite case to remain in the active duty pool after that. So again, even if the snakebite case is not the next case to be removed, it will for sure, and I could almost guarantee, and I'd be willing to bet a decent amount of money on it, that the snakebite case would be the second most recent case to be removed, which again, is probably coming sooner rather than later because it's been so long since we've got new cases, new content, all this new stuff in CS2. So I wouldn't be surprised even if, again, a new case comes out sometime in 2024 and the fracture case gets removed. The snakebite case would not be gone too long after that. And we've seen in the past, I have the clutch case pulled up here. The clutch case got removed on like February 10th of 2023. And we can see here, it went from 35 cents to 44 cents pretty much right away as soon as it got removed. It had a 32% bump in price. A couple of days later, it was up to 54 cents, and then a couple of days later, it was up to 64 cents. So not even a month after getting removed from the active duty pool, the clutch case had doubled. And again, the clutch case is a case that had a very large supply. The clutch case is a case that wasn't even that popular. People didn't even like it that much, but still just going from the active duty to the rare drop pool almost made it double in price in just the course of a month. Now, I don't want to read too much into the rest of the graph because obviously this contains some CS2 hype and some market mania and craziness and all that stuff, but I don't think as much of that stuff was going on in February and March of 2023. I don't know for sure, and maybe some of that was factored in. Maybe you have to keep some of that in mind, but also something you have to keep in mind is that, hey, the clutch case here is at 35 cents. Again, we're talking about a 12-cent case in the snakebite. We're talking about something that is a third price of the clutch case. So if the clutch case was able to double from 30 to 60 cents in the matter of a month, what do you think the snakebite case could possibly do? Now, hey, maybe it obviously has higher supplies and people like opening it less and all that stuff. There's some red flags. Maybe we're not going to see the exact same type of gains, but again, a lot of that is factored into the very cheap price as well. A lot of that is already being considered. So I think there right now is a ton of green flags going on for the snakebite case. I think there are so many exciting good things going on about it. I know people love to shit on it, but hey, everyone says, hey, remember when we had those 3-cent cases and how amazing those were? I wish I would have bought more, blah, 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 blah. Snakebite case is freaking 12 cents right now, guys. I don't know. It could still drop further, and if it does, I'm going to buy even more. But man, this thing is down 40% in the past month. I don't think things get much simpler than this in the world of investing or CS2 investing or anything like that. I'm going to be loading up on some snakebite cases, and I don't know exactly when they're going to increase in price once again, but I bet it's going to be sooner rather than later. But that is pretty much it for this video today, guys. Hopefully I catch you in the next one. Until then, peace.